found in these
This
lakes,
channel may feature copyrighted video and audio content under the guidelines of fair use permitted by copyright statute for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. All content and credit go to the original creators. No copyright infringement is intended.
We know, but it's getting so out of control. Just so you know, we don't go for those that's taking these souls. We know, but it's getting so out of control. Thank you for tuning in to MTGV, True Crime TV. Y'all know what it is, man. Team Vibe.
Shout out to everybody in the building.
And make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. And make sure you leave
Please
a comment
do.
too. Yeah.
Welcome in, everyone. It has been a minute since we've been live, but we definitely been producing those shorts. Shout out to everybody in the building. Drop down and let me know who's here. We have a lot of catching up to do. Shout out to my BFF in the building. I see Gretchen in the building. And shout out to all the Bushwatchers. Jump down and let me see who's here. Shout out to Charlene Green. How you doing, fam? Kickback. Good evening to you. Red Royal in the building. Shout out to you. Thank y'all so much for being here. Man, I mean, where do we start? Where do we start? So I was waiting on my video to upload the things that I wanted to talk about today. Shout out to Tabany. What's up, Bree? Bree in the building. How you doing? So it's still like I haven't been live in a couple weeks, and we still don't know any more than we knew when this first happened. I mean, a lot of people is getting arrested, but it has nothing to do with Nolan. And I still got mad questions. First of all, I'm really starting to feel like people are putting stuff out, trying to confuse everybody. Because this latest video of the rumble in the water, who is that? And who's leaking these videos? Like, it's like somebody was out there with a drone, or either somebody is creating fake videos. But I'm just trying to figure out who are all of these people. Hold on, where the heck? Hold on, y'all. Let me remember how to operate my studio. It's been that long. So, but yeah, so a couple things that I want to know that I was wondering before the friends came out and did their interview. I was wanting to know exactly when did Javon pick up his phone, because that's the missing piece. That's another missing piece for me, besides the whole what happened to Nolan. You know, they, even if they say, which they've been saying, oh, he drowned. You know, ain't nobody do nothing to Nolan. He drowned. Well, we still want to know, which I'm not buying that at all, because if it was that simple, that would have been solved the day that it happened. You know what I'm saying? They want nothing more than to put this behind them. But all of these inconsistencies, people coming out, it's feeling like a money grab. People starting these send goals, fundraisers for future lawsuits, is what Brandon Tatum said on Cuomo's show. He said that's the reason why the family was creating it, because they don't want to spend their own money. Now, he didn't say that, of course, and everything is alleged too. You know, everything is alleged. Nobody is guilty until proven guilty in a court of law. But we have a lot of things that need to be answered, and I'm gonna put this video up. We're gonna just get started. It's not like I have all day. We're gonna get started with this part, talking about the how the mother got the keys. And it also, this is pretty much like the beginning part of it, because it's still a lot of unanswered questions, and it's mixed with dispatch audio that you probably have not heard from the 4th, 5th, and 6th, including when they were looking for him, when the friends, ex-friends, were calling the police and all of that stuff. We had already talked about it, but we're going to talk about it again as far as the dispatch audio. But let's get started with him. Because let me tell you, one thing about Warren, for me, he talks very confusing, which to me, when it's confusing, it's a lie. It's lies in there. They're not telling the whole story. They withholding information, being real careful on what he say, but it's a lot of conflicting things that come out of his mouth. And so just even when he explained the story, when I watched this the first time, and it's not the full thing, it's just clips, because we gonna see the mom, the dad, and just see what they have to say about this topic. But let's go.
I mean, I told Miss Christine that we had his phone and he had left it in our possession on the boat.
When did you, Miss Christine is Nolan's mom?
Correct.
When did you talk to her about that?
When I was on, no, I didn't talk to her once, like, it was like 12:30. I mean, I might have texted her a couple times and, like, you know, talked briefly about a couple things, but I told her on the phone before I called the Coast Guard that we had no one's phone. Before I called Miss Christine, I asked, I was like, oh, well, where's his location at? Because no one has his Snapchat location on for me. And he said, it's Wyatt said it's, in my truck. Like, because everybody who left stuff on the boat, it was Wyatt's boat, so Wyatt put it in his truck, like, it's normal. And so the phone was in possession in Wyatt's truck.
Okay, so I don't know how Snapchat work as far as the locations. I would assume that the only way you could see somebody's Snapchat location is if they were on Snapchat, but I don't know. Like, Snapchat is not a locator, so I would think that maybe he can't see his location unless he's actually on the app. But do anybody know that? Because if he could see his location, then he would already know where his phone was at when he said that, when he asked where the phone was at. But to me, it seems like the phone was moved. Obviously, it was moved. It was on the boat, and then it was moved to Wyatt's truck. But how did it get there? Just like what I was saying with Nolan, if they want to say that he drowned, then they need to tell us how he entered the water, where he entered it, we already know where they found him at, but who seen Nolan last too? Who had eyes on him last to see where he went? Like, all we hearing is, oh, he decided he wanted to stay on the island. He was going to ride back with such and such, right? But my thing is, first of all, y'all saying that he was drunk, right? He was trashed. He was hammered and all of this. So with that being said, why would y'all leave him if he was that messed up? Make that make sense. What kind of friends are y'all to leave your drunk, hammered, messed up friend that had a whole liquor bottle, somebody said, in his hand, a whole vodka bottle, which I don't believe, because I remember the coach saying that he seen him. It was somewhere between 2:30 and 3:30. And, he has said that he was perfectly fine. Warren even said he was fine when he was talking about him, right? But so I feel like it should be, somebody should have to answer to leaving somebody drunk, trashed, and could barely talk. You know what I'm saying? On the island alone. He couldn't make his own decision. I'm just saying, if we want to go with that, he couldn't make his own decisions. And they left him. And when you think about it, y'all didn't want to make sure that he got a ride with somebody. You didn't ask who he was riding with. Oh, that's right. He was staying with Katie. But nobody, where was Warren at? I mean, where was Nolan at when he said that he was going to ride with Katie? And where was Katie at when he said it? Because we have heard that Katie heard him say that he was going to ride with her. She heard him say that he wasn't getting on the boat. Something to that effect. But let me just let this play because there's so much in my head right now.
So me and my sister are, cleaning up, and this is about 8. And she's like, hey, Nolan hasn't texted us.
I mean, I told Miss Christine that we had his phone and he had left it in our possession on the boat.
When did you, Miss Christine is Nola's mom?
Correct.
When did you talk to her about that?
When I was on, no, I didn't talk to her once, like, it was like 12:30. I mean, I might have texted her a couple times and talked briefly about a couple things, but I told her on the phone before I called the Coast Guard that we had no one's phone. Before I called Miss Christine, I was like, oh, well, where's his location at? Because no one had his Snapchat location on for me. And he said, it's why I said it's, in my truck. Like, because everybody who left stuff on the boat, it was Wyatt's boat, so Wyatt put it in his truck, it's normal. And
I feel like when he stumble and bumble over his words, he's lying. That's my opinion.
The phone was in possession in Wyatt's truck.
So me and my sister are, cleaning up, and this is about 8. And she's like, hey, Nolan hasn't texted us. And that was the thing. Nolan was really big with communication with us, right? And so I call him, doesn't answer. I end the call, call back. And this is probably, I think, maybe around 8. Don't quote me on the times, guys. So then I call again later at around 8, still no answer. And then I want to say I called one more time, and I think that was at like 10:48. So I'm in the kitchen, my phone rings. Now this is probably like early 11 o'clock, somewhere around there. Phone rings when I make it back to the phone, and I'm like, whose number is this? Because, we get weird phone calls sometimes. They didn't leave a message. Number pops back up. I pick up the phone because it says maybe Warren. And I'm like, Warren? So this is 11:07. That's per my cell phone records.
He showed me in his phone where he called Miss Christine first. She didn't answer the first time. He had a second call, and I think because she was asleep. He had a second call with it where the duration of the call was about 5 to 8 minutes. He talked to her on the phone, and he told me during that call that he told her, hey, we haven't seen Nolan. Don't panic. We think that he may be hanging out with friends or whatever, but just in case, is it okay if I call the Coast Guard? So he told me he got permission from Christine that, Nolan's mom, that he could call the Coast Guard. Then he showed me the call log where immediately after that call, it couldn't have been a minute or two after the call, he calls the Coast Guard. And he also showed me that him and the rest of the boys got up the next morning, got on a boat, and went out looking for Nolan. He also told me that he told Christine, Nolan's mother, that he had Nolan's phone and keys.
So I answered the phone. He's like, hey, Miss Christine, have you seen or talked to Nolan?
Did you hear what he just said? That he had his keys and phone. I feel like it transferred from one person to another. I don't think just one person was handling all the phones that was allegedly left on the boat. And that's my other question about Javon is, when exactly did he retrieve his phone? But I'm gonna let this keep going. So, and then another thing to point out is that the mother had been calling his phone. They knew that phone was there. You know what I'm saying? They had to know that his phone was in the boat. So they would have heard the phone ringing. They would have known that she was looking for the phone, right? And it makes me wonder if the phone was in the car, in the truck the whole time. Because remember, they had to go outside to get the phone. And I remember the mother, Nolan's mother, saying that a female had the phone. A woman, some woman, the mother had her friend the phone. But Warren said that Wyatt went out and got the phone. And another thing, he kind of downplayed what happened that day. Like when Jax talked, he said, oh, it was 100%, it was 100% combative when they were, I forgot the word that he used, but he was saying basically that when they came to the house, it's 15 people in his house. He don't know none of them. And they was coming to with a attitude pretty much. And but yet they gave up addresses and different things like that, and they went to another location to search a boat and all that, which was Wyatt's house, I guess. But let this keep playing. Let me take it back a little bit.
So he told me he got permission from Christine, that, Nolan's mom, that he could call the Coast Guard. Then he showed me the call log where immediately after that call, it couldn't have been a minute or two after the call, he calls the Coast Guard.
Did he really need her permission to call the Coast Guards, though? And that's the interesting part, that he ends up saying that he knows somebody from the Coast Guards, which explains the confusion. It's just a big ball of mess, really. A bunch of mess.
That's per my cell phone records.
He showed me in his phone where he called Miss.
Whose number is this? Because, we get weird phone calls sometimes. They didn't leave a message. Number pops back up. I pick up the phone because it says maybe Warren. And I'm like, Warren? So this is 1107. That's per my cell phone records.
He showed me in his phone where he called Miss Christine first. She didn't answer the first time. He had a second call, and I think because she was asleep. He had a second call where the duration of the call was about 5 to 8 minutes. He talks to her on the phone, and he told me during that call that he told her, hey, we haven't seen Nolan. Don't panic. We think that he may be hanging out with friends or whatever, but just in case, is it okay if I call the Coast Guard? So he told me he got permission from Christine, that, Nolan's mom, that he could call the Coast Guard. Then he showed me the call log where immediately after that call, it couldn't have been a minute or two after the call, he calls the Coast Guard.
Y'all, please smack the thumbs up. Everybody that's listening in, whatever stream you may be listening to, please double tap that screen and hit the thumbs up to help the algorithm push us out so more people will know that we are live. So it says right here, July 4th, 2026 at 11:13, and the call was 21 minutes, I guess. He didn't talk to her long at all. Let's see. And that's another thing. Like, he explained all of the stuff that he told them and all that. And when I first heard that, I'm like, so he told them all of this stuff and they didn't go search for him? I don't think it sounds like he may have called somebody on a private line. Did he call a recorded line where they can run that back so people could hear what was said? Because it sounds like it was a friend calling a friend off the record.
On the phone, and he told me during that call that he told her, hey, we haven't seen Nolan. Don't panic. We think that he may be hanging out with friends or whatever, but just in case, is it okay if I call the Coast Guard? So he told me he got permission from Christine, that, Nolan's mom, that he could call the Coast Guard. Then he showed me the call log where immediately after that call, it couldn't have been a minute or two after the call, he calls the Coast Guard. And he also showed me that him and the rest of the boys got up the next morning, got on a boat, and went out looking for Nolan. He also told me that he told Christine, Nolan's mother, that he had Nolan's phone and keys.
So I answered the phone. He's like, hey, Miss Christine, have you seen or talked to Nolan? I said, no. Why? He should be with you guys. And he said, oh, no, well, when we went to the island, there was a girl named Katie that he met, and he had decided to stay behind. I said, what? Because we know our child. And Nolan isn't one to be like, oh, well, I'm just going to throw caution to the wind and I'm going to stay here with this girl that I just met. So I'm on the phone with him. Now I'm in a panic. I'm running to my room. Elmore was in bed watching a different movie. And I'm like frantic. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, Nolan is missing. I'm trying to pull up the GPS as I'm talking to him. And at some point he tells me that, I was like, well, his phone says GPS Life 360, not Snapchat. Right. Life 360 says that he's on land. And he was like, well, no, I mean, we have his phone. And I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like, okay. Because at that point, you're telling me, this is coming from Warren, don't worry about it. We're going to find him. It's going to be okay. Don't tell me not to worry. This is my child, my flesh and blood that I brought into this world. And you're telling me not to worry. Absolutely not. But before getting off the phone with Warren, he was like, hey, I know some people at Coast Guard. I said, okay. He's like, I'm going to call Coast Guard. You call DMR.
And I heard the girl that he was with, Katie, had text somebody. Yeah. That she heard people yelling, correct, for Nolan to get on it.
Yeah, and I have a picture of that. She texted my buddy, and the next day everybody was panicking, and everybody's texting Katie, because she was obviously seen with Nolan the whole day at the island. Katie sent a message to my buddy the next day and said, this is the last time I saw him, he's really sweet. But she also mentioned that the last time she saw Nolan was when my buddy was yelling at him to get on the boat, and she was right there to see that Nolan decided not to. We went and docked it, and I went back to my buddy's house, and we ate and napped for a little bit. It was a long day at the island, so we were all tired. And eventually, we go over to a girlfriend of mine. She was having people over 4th of July. We were doing like fireworks and stuff, so we all went over there to swim and hang out. And
this infamous picture that I've seen online of Nolan in the water in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, this whole Katie part, notice how he was about to say something about her, then he kind of changed the subject. Because my thing is, after you do all that, go to sleep, eat, go to sleep, go to parties, do all of this, then all of a sudden, bam, they concerned about Nolan. But knowing that he was out there, that's another thing. Like, if Nolan decided that, hey, I'm going to stay here, I'm not getting on the boat, where was he standing when he said that? Because if you think back, Warren said the last time he seen Nolan, it was 3 o'clock, right? He seen him at 3 and he was cradling Katie. Then he said he seen him sitting by the boat with Katie. And then at 4:30, he heard his friend yelling at him to get on the boat. So that would mean 3 o'clock wasn't your last time seeing him. But if he was standing in the water, I'm assuming he was standing in the water. First of all, why is Wyatt talking to him like that? Everybody was said to be into it. Trayston, Warren's brother, but everybody is mad at Nolan. You see what I'm saying? Like, why is Wyatt yelling at him, and why haven't we heard anything from him? His name, he is the person whose house he was over, right? Or was it Jack's house that they stayed at? We know that his truck was at Jack's house, right? I'm getting confused. Boy, I'm getting confused right now. But hold on, because I was just looking for something. Hold on. Now, we've heard from everybody, but you know how, so they're all friends and they are part of a friend group. Who is the friend that brought Nolan around? Who is the main friend? You know how you meet one person and then they introduce you to the other friend. I'm wondering who is that friend? Because this is Wyatt, and we haven't heard nothing from him. And this is the one that was actually said to be talking to Nolan when he came up missing or when they left him. This is who was screaming at him to let's go, right? Where is he at? And they avoid saying his name too. But he's the only one that I see, little pictures like this. I'm not sure what's going on with the thing on his head, but then I noticed this picture also. Wait, not that one. This one. I don't know if they had some type of costume party or what's going on here, but he's the only one that I see him with stuff like that on. So I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out, why is he not talking? Why was he angry at Nolan? And the same time that everybody was into it, this is when he disappeared. So the altercation, they're saying it didn't have nothing to do with Nolan, but they yelling at him. It was supposed to have to do with Trayston, but they all seem to be cool with him. So how is everybody else into it? They ain't mad at nobody but Nolan. And where's the people at that they allegedly was into it with? You see what I'm saying? Like, they could be just saying anything. Do these people even exist? Because some people out there say that they were fighting among each other. And that's the part I feel like that's the biggest missing piece, because that's the mystery of it all. Nolan is in the water. He seemed to know where he was at right before it happened. And then I remember Javon, he was I thought that he was near Nolan right when it happened, right? Because Tristan said that he was with them the whole day, except for like when everything jumped off. They was with them all day. Nolan was with them all day, and I'm assuming Javon was too, but I'm not sure. I know that Javon was supposed to ride with them, but the boat filled up and he ended up riding with somebody else. And I have a short that I want to play of him and who he rode with. Because he said he rode with friends and parents, but that one guy, Avis, that came out talking, it was another alleged friend from Nolan's college that came out speaking and saying that he was hammered. That was the one that said he was hammered. That was the guy that Javon was on the boat with. And the reason why I really want to know when did Javon get his phone is because his mother said that she called him once Christine called her to let her know that Nolan was missing. She instantly called her boys. So Javon had his phone by then. You would think, and it could have just been no conversation at all, but what did Javon know, or Javon, I don't know if it's Javon or Javon, I've seen it both ways, but what did he know about Nolan leaving or staying? Because he said that when he went back to the boat, it was already gone. And it was a female that said that same thing, because it's a couple females that is going to talk in this video that I have, and they both have accounts of what happened, and it kind of go with the story. So one female both of them seem to know Nolan, but the black female actually sound more like a family friend, and the person that she was talking to is a content creator, I think maybe on TikTok. And so she is a real person. She really is attached to the family, from my understanding, according to this TikToker that she has been talking to. And I think her name is Ashley too, because she said her name on the thing. I just wish more people would come out and make themselves known, so people won't think that some of these people coming out are trolls or that they don't actually know Nolan. But once Nolan said, you know what, I'm gonna just stay, what about his shoes? What about his shirt? He had on flip-flops or some type of shoes when he went out there. He had on a long sleeve button-up shirt when he went out there. He had on some glasses and his beads and his clothes that he would have left over at his friends. I wonder if they got all of that. But I'm saying, so they just left him out there. He gonna be out there with no shirt, no shoes, just barefoot, just out there, right? I feel like something happened to him at that moment, and that's when they left. Either that, or something happened to him out somewhere, and they brought him back. Because they could have got away from everybody else, and a big altercation could have happened out there, which the cameras would be helpful on the bridge and all of that, because it was many cameras, and Bree showed us that going to Fort Bayou and going by all of those islands and all of those homes, but no investigation is going on. That's what it looked like. It's absolutely what it looked like. Y'all, please smack that thumbs up. Shout out to everybody tuning in, but I definitely need y'all to smack that thumbs up for your girl. Let me see what y'all saying. And I'm a try to let this play, but obviously I gotta talk. It's a lot on my mind, but I'm kind of stumbling over my words a little bit. Hey, love, glad to be here. Glad you are here, Charlene. That's what's up. You're welcome. Hold on. Shout out to Crystal. Welcome in. Shout out to Petersburg in the building. How you doing? Yes, y'all, please smack the thumbs up. It is so crucial. Warren Hudson, he in trouble. I mean, listen, I feel like once everybody started coming out talking, I really felt like the fix was in. You know, I felt like the fix was in. Everybody confident about, the results of everything. You even got who was it specifically? Like Cuomo, he spoke about the autopsy results and toxicology was mentioned. Definitely the autopsy, and then the lawyer seemed like they knew, and yeah, both lawyers seemed like they knew. Everybody know what's going on except for the family. And a lot of people are, talking about the phone and all of that, which I knew that was going to become an issue, even though they agreed. Didn't they have some type of agreement, or they talked about them doing this dual investigation of the phone? And now, last I checked, they had a deadline where they got to turn in the phone. I think it said by August 14th was supposed to be their deadline. Let me see. August 12th through 14th, cell phone dispute. This is one, let's see. Nolan's cell phone still has not undergone a agreed forensic examination according to current reporting. The DA sought possession of the phone. The family attorney says they are not refusing to have it examined. Their position is that the examination should occur under an agreed protocol addressing issues including custody, preservation, and access to the extracted data. I mean, listen, I wouldn't want to give the phone away either. Like, that's the only evidence that there is. How do you trust somebody that's covering up things, or it feels like they're covering it up allegedly, and no information is being told to the family, yet other people have it. I mean, I wouldn't feel comfortable either. They should be able to have their own legal team come in, or whoever qualified to do this, professional, that should be able to come in there and do this with them. But it don't sound like that's what they want. And so it says, so let me see. The family attorney says they are not refusing, so that's a big thing, but they want to do it together. So their position is that the agreed examination should occur under an agreed protocol addressing issues including custody, preservation, and access of the extracted data. And then the Congressional Black Caucus, formerly called the U.S. Department of Justice, to conduct an independent review of Nolan's death. Okay, so Representative McBath joined Nolan's parents, Ben Crump, and public supporters calling for a federal involvement. So they are reviewing the request right now, allegedly. The DOJ confirmed that it received a request and that appropriate personnel were reviewing it as of right now, allegedly. But they haven't opened an investigation or nothing like that. Let me let this finish playing. Y'all, please smack the thumbs up. Thank you to the people that did. We have 351 people in here. So we need 300 thumbs up. And shout out to the 56 people hitting the thumbs up. But please double tap the screen or hit the 3 dots upper right. Get out of my chat if you don't care. That's all you got to do. Keep it moving. We don't want you here. You ain't welcome here.
Hired, and eventually we go over to a girlfriend of mine. She was having people over 4th of July. We were doing like fireworks and stuff. So we all went over there to swim and hang out. And I was
this infamous picture that I've seen online of Nolan in the water in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
Where is this picture associated with? Because you said you guys went back to swim. Nolan wasn't with you.
Yeah.
So where's this picture at? Like,
right.
what is it? What's the context around the picture that's been floating?
That picture is taken on June 27th, a week before the 4th of July. We all went to.
Well, we all know what he about to say. That's been following this. But what I wanted to know is what's in this dude. First of all, I mean, the obvious. He looked scared. The guy bear hugging him don't at all. He looked like the only happy one in that frame right there. But what the heck is he holding under the water? And is this really from the 27th? That's yet to be determined.
I just went back to swim. Nolan wasn't with you. Yeah. So where's this picture at? Like, what is it? What's the context around the picture that's been floating?
That picture is taken on June 27th, a week before the 4th of July. We all went to a friend of ours in Pass Christian. We got a lot of friends from Bay St. Louis, Pass Christian. We all went over there to hang out. And,
and Nolan was in that picture.
Nolan was in that picture. And if you look in the picture, my arm is around Nolan in that picture, And, I mean, that was a week before the 4th of July. So that picture is not associated within even the same. I mean, that was like a week before. So yeah.
So you guys are now at swimming and having a good time at a lady friend's house.
Right. I never got to the pool. I talked to her dad for a while, and I mean, all my friends were downstairs. I went upstairs, talked to her dad. We were talking about boats and stuff, and I've been with my friends all day. I was just talking to everybody. But
so
that is very interesting too, that he would go talk about boats and stuff. After all of this stuff happened, I mean, I would think that he would have not only been talking about boats, but would have been talking about what happened on the island. If they just had to run off and all of this stuff, and basically somebody described it as them pulling a boat off without taking the parking brake off. And that's what caused a lot of issues to happen, because they was in such a rush leaving, allegedly. So I would think all of that would have came up in question. Very interesting.
you talked to the young lady's dad, and then how long was it before you realized, or you guys realized that, where's Nolan at?
I mean, I went back downstairs, and all my friends were just hanging out, and my buddy Wyatt had addressed, talking about Nolan. I was like, well, where is Nolan? Have y'all heard from him? And he was like, no, we haven't. And I was like, okay, well, it's a little concerning. Like, I mean, I'm not freaking out or anything, but like.
And it's just like kind of like the way that he said it too. He was talking about Nolan. He was addressing something concerning Nolan. What was he addressing?
I was just talking to everybody, but
so you talked to the young lady's dad, and then how long was it before you realized, or you guys realized that, where's Nolan at?
I mean, I went back downstairs, and all my friends were just hanging out, and my buddy Wyatt had addressed, talking about Nolan. I was like, well, where is Nolan? Have y'all heard from him? And he was like,
why didn't he say what he said?
No, we haven't. And I was like, okay, well, it's a little concerning. Like,
and why did he say it like that? No, we haven't. It's like he had an attitude about it.
I'm not freaking out or anything, but like.
Everybody got back in, and we were all at Ava's house.
Now, this might be a little bit hard to hear, but this is a female that came out speaking, and it's a horrible recording because it sound bad. But she said some of the stuff that he just said. So, I mean, she knew something. And this stuff came out before they started talking on these interviews and stuff.
And Wyatt was like.
And I was like, okay, well, it's a little concerning. Like, I mean, I'm not freaking out or anything, but like.
Everybody got back in, and we were all at Ava's house, and Wyatt was like, where's Nolan? He was like, is he coming with Katie?
Now, notice she said Wyatt asked where was he at, but in his story, he asked where was he at, right?
How long was it before you realized, or you guys realized that, where's Nolan at?
I mean, I went back downstairs, and all my friends were just hanging out, and my buddy Wyatt had addressed, talking about Nolan. And I was like, well, where is Nolan? Have y'all heard from him?
First, he was gonna say he was. See, I mean, to me, he is lying, in my opinion. Like, this dude it's like he got so much going on in his head. He trying to keep track of that. He's stumbling over his words, and he can't keep it straight. Like, did you ask about Nolan, or did Wyatt? Wyatt addressed something about Nolan. Why not say, well, yeah, Wyatt, just like how he could start talking about the bilge pump and the water and all that, how it dropped and all that. Explain it like you explain that. But when people talk like this, they withholding information, in my opinion.
And he was like, no, we haven't. And I was like, okay, well, it's a little concerning. Like, I mean, I'm not freaking out or anything, but like.
Everybody got back in, and we were all at Ava's house, and Wyatt was like.
Now, notice she said Ava's house. Ava is the house that allegedly the pool party pic came from, that he says was from the 27th.
Where's Nolan?
But if I'm not mistaken, I think Jay Megan, when she was talking about the map and all of that stuff and the different drop-off spots that they was going to, she pointed out an area that the pool party was at, and that's where they were right next to. So it seems like it was at that same house from what she put up.
He was like, saying something with Katie and them. And they're like, yeah. And Warren was like, let me call him and ask where he is. Or Warren was like, I have this phone. Like, somebody called Katie and asked where he is. And then they called Katie. And
Now she just said Warren said he have his phone. Wait, let me take it back.
that's what they found out. He was like, saying something with Katie and them. And they're like, yeah. And Warren was like, let me call him and ask where he is. Or Warren was like, I have this phone. Like, somebody called Katie and asked where he is. And then they called Katie.
Oh, let me put the closed caption on. That might help. Where is it at? That'll help. Hopefully it'll pick it up. Wait, where is it?
And that's what they found out. And no one ever went with her either.
I'm trying to find out where Nolan is. So I texted Javon and I was like, hey, and also a couple other buddies that I had at the island. I was like, hey, have y'all seen Nolan? Did he ride with y'all? And all the boys were like, no. Well, I texted Javon and I was like, hey, can you send me Miss Christine's number? Because I hadn't heard from Nolan. And if she hasn't heard from Nolan, then I'm calling the Coast Guard. And so eventually Javon sends me her number.
Who is her? That's
Miss Christine.
Miss Christine
Yeah,
is
Nolan's mom.
Nolan's mom.
Yeah. And I walked down to the dock because, I mean, there was a lot of people. It was not a lot, but, you know, there was probably 15 of our friends there. And I was just like, walk down to the dock with a couple of my buddies. And I got on the phone. I called Miss Christine, called her the first time. She didn't answer. I called her a second time. And I got on the phone with her and I asked her if she had heard from Nolan. She said no. And I said, all right, well, don't freak out. I'm going to call the Coast Guard. And this was at about 11 o'clock.
So what's your intent in calling the Coast Guard, right? Because right now, Nolan could be with a chick. He could be with somebody else.
Right.
He could have gone back with somebody else. What made you concerned enough that you felt like you couldn't wait it out anymore? You had to call the Coast Guard.
Well, I mean, like I said, my friends and I have been on the water our whole life. Stuff happens. People die all the time. I know people that have died out there. And, you know, it's a fun place to be, but it's also a very, very dangerous place to be if you're not handling it right. And
well, if you know that, why would you leave them there? And who is the people he know that died out there before? Give us some names and dates, like, and were they with you when it happened? Like, he just said that so casual, and to me, that's just odd. It could be dangerous if you're not handling it right. So somebody that's drunk definitely wouldn't be able to handle it right. Like, I remember the mom saying that Nolan had just started going with them. She said he went with them last year. And I heard him saying, or them saying, that Nolan had been with them about 3 times this year or whatever. But he pretty much just started going with them. And he also said that he always be trying to go with them. So it wasn't something that he always did. It was fairly new.
Nolan, so I hadn't heard from him. And obviously, I'm thinking I'd way rather be safe than sorry. I mean, I would rather call the Coast Guard 100 times and lose my mind over it, my buddy be okay, than, not, and, me not know where he is and him not be okay. And so I called the Coast Guard and I talked to them on the phone for like 20 minutes, gave him a description, what Nolan was wearing, the last place we were at, the last time I saw him, who were we with, what boat we were on, the conditions of the water, just summary. And I called Miss Christine back after and I talked to her. And I said,
now y'all heard everything that he said. He told them all that. Let's see how important. What did he say again?
Him not be okay. And so I called.
And then he didn't mention, well, I guess he told her that he knew somebody there, but he didn't mention that this was a friend of his or somebody that he knew personally when he was telling the story.
The Coast Guard, and I talked to them on the phone for like 20 minutes, gave him a description, what Nolan was wearing, the last.
How do you talk to somebody for 20 minutes? Exactly what was you saying? 20 minutes is a long conversation. For them, for the ending result to be that they didn't even go out and look for Nolan. Like, can somebody please make that make sense? What all was you saying? Because we know he's a man with few words, according to these interviews, because he spent most of his time stumbling over his words. Somebody said they don't want, I believe Bart unalive Nolan, and they know. It's so many other people that it could be though. You know, they are automatically acting guilty to me. I mean, but the story just don't make sense at all. Nothing that they're saying makes sense. Y'all, please smack the thumbs up. Please smack the thumbs up. Let me let him keep.
Place we were at the last time I saw him. Who were you with? What boat we were on? The conditions of the water. Just just summary. And I called.
Just summary. That, I mean, to me, that was an important part. You would think that he would have been very carefully telling them, because he really want to find his friend, that he would have been really tuned in on that part, not just breeze by it like he's doing right now. What did you tell the folks? 20-minute conversation. And he just, I mean, this is about Nolan, allegedly. But he breezed by that so damn fast. I mean, it really makes me wonder, because he called the Coast Guards, right? The mother ended up calling them too. So if you get a call from him and it wasn't urgent enough to go look, by the time the mother calls concerned, you should have did something. But they told her it wasn't a jurisdiction. She was getting all kind of back and forth that day.
I called Miss Christine back after, and I talked to her. And I said, I got to contact the Coast Guard. I'm not sure who she called or, what she did, but I think she said she was going to make a couple of phone calls to either DMR or Jackson County Sheriff's Office. And I was thinking worst case scenario.
He thinks he don't even remember what she told him. I mean, you talked to her on the phone, right? He don't even remember what she said. This is something that you would think he would remember everything. I'm talking about, this is stuff that people don't forget. You were with this person last. This is your last time ever seeing this person. And you're not going to hang on to every moment that you can recount, including this so tragic incident that happened. Like, this is,
I would way rather be safe than sorry about this,
Yeah, so you called. So it seems like you called mom immediately.
Right.
Probably the first phone call that she got from anybody.
That's the first phone call, at least I made. And I would assume that's the first phone call she got from anybody, because Javon hadn't called her. And, there's nothing wrong with that, but Javon hadn't called her. And
I hear him say it's nothing wrong with that, right? Javon hadn't called her. Why should Javon have called her? Did he know what was going on? And yeah, how much did Javon know? Because that's not the only time that he said that. He said that a couple times, like he digging a little bit about Javon, because he didn't ride with Javon. So at what point did Javon know about this? You see what I'm saying? He's saying that as if Javon should have told her before him. But if Javon allegedly went to break up a fight, he comes back and the boat is gone, what point did he get his phone? And how far behind them were they? I'm just curious. Because I heard him say a couple people met on the docks to get their phones, or by the docks. Some people grabbed their phones from there or whatever. So I'm just trying to figure out, what time did Javon grab his phone? Who was he with when he grabbed it? Where did he come to get it? Because by the time his mom, and then did they tell him that Nolan's phone was still with them? Because Javon is allegedly his best friend, and they could have given him Nolan's phone then, whenever Javon grabbed his phone. Because Brandon asked him, when the mother came and got the phone, did she grab anybody else's phone? And he said that because he knew that Javon's phone was on there too, on that boat.
I was just worried about my friend. Stuff happens out there. No problems. It could be anything. But there's a lot of stuff that happens out there, and I was just worried about my friend.
And so you guys made that call. Nothing that night. And I'm assuming you wake up the next day, and then what happens?
I wake up the next day at about 7:30, and my dad had texted me, because obviously Nolan's photo was all over Facebook, and you know, I just saw it everywhere, and I was freaked out because I was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, I assumed.
So he woke up the next day at 7:30. What time did you go to bed? That's what I want to know. Because that's waking up at 7:30. That's kind of early for partying all night or whatever, allegedly partying all night and being drunk and all that. You know, it was a long day. So that's pretty early to wake up. But I'm very interested in what time did he go to bed.
Day at about 7:30, and my dad had texted me because obviously Nolan's photo was all over Facebook, and you know, I just saw it everywhere, and I was freaked out because I was like, oh my gosh, like.
And it was also said that, and I know because the picture, I have a screenshot of the picture when she posted it. It was his mom showed her phone with the picture on it, letting everybody know, hey, this is what he had on. He didn't have on black shorts like what she was told. And that picture, what time was the picture posted? I mean, I don't know what time the mother posted the picture, but she didn't have the picture until the 5th. And it was allegedly during the interviews with the three friends. One of them, I think it was Jax, that ended up saying that it was Nolan's idea to take the picture. He spotted when he was putting his phone up right here when, and I'm guessing, I don't know if he was talking about when they took their picture or when this group picture was taken. But I'm thinking he might be talking about this because he said that they was right by the steering thing or the wherever they put the pictures at, wherever he put his phone at, that's what they were doing when they was standing there. They had just put the phone up. Nolan allegedly noticed a camera there that one of the females brought, and he was like, oh, we got to take a picture. Now, what type of camera was this? Because it was said to be a camera and not a phone. Now, I don't know if cameras are modern where you can send a picture from your camera. I don't know if it could do that, or if she would have to go get that picture developed, because I haven't bought a camera in a while. Was it a disposable camera, a Canon camera, a real camera? Like, what kind of camera was this for Nolan's mother to have the picture sent to her and posted before he got up at 7:30 in the morning on the 5th, the very next day? I don't know. I really don't know that. For him to say that his picture was plastered all over social media by 7:30 in the morning, I don't know about that. How true is that? Do y'all know? I don't know. But anyway, let him keep talking. Oh, and another thing, I felt like I found what they were drinking. And I had also pointed out that in every picture, they just so happen to not be showing the logos of what they're drinking. And I did a short because I'm like, normally you don't see that type of thing. Only in movies, you don't see the names, the labels of what somebody might have because they don't want to promote these people or whatever. So, but every single picture, if you can find all the ones that they released at first, you will see that not one of them is facing where you can see the name of what they drinking. And I don't think that I don't know. It's just starting to feel like a production. Like what is going on? And why I'm in here in these pictures, this is another picture that I had, somebody had posted asking if this is Nolan. And it looked like it could be, but I'm just like, every picture, right? Every single picture that's supposed to be Nolan, you can't see it. You can't see his face. He was found face down. You can't hit this person's foot is right where you would have been able to see his damn face. It was another picture I seen. Somebody was like, oh, this is Nolan. He helped my wife up the ladder. And it was him. All you could see was the back of him. Looked like I don't know what the hell he was doing. It didn't even look right. It's just like weird. Everything is weird about this case. Too many weird things. Okay. Even, it's just some weird stuff going on with this case. Just like with this, when Ben Crump had shared this picture, right? And I shared it over here, but I was laughing because I'm like, that looked like a robotic leg with a boot with a heel on it, right? So it's almost like, and this picture was shared before Tatum video happened. So you see this picture, you see something hanging over here, right? And I had literally taken this picture and put it through AI myself to see what it would, if it would show me something else. And let me see. It changed to this, something like this, but I also found one like this online. So I'm just like, what the heck? But what stands out to me is the position where it's at. It's in the same spot as the thing that we could see moving up and down. And this is it right here. So it's almost like they was preparing us for, they was messing this up just in case you notice it. So nobody will trust this either. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just weird. Like, I've been doing this since 2020 on crime, and this is up there on something I ain't never seen. Like, just like every case, I kind of identify them, compare them by what I have talked about before. This is a new one. All of this stuff happening, and this is the first time that I'm hearing this year, recent months, I'm hearing a lot of, oh, that's AI in my comments, because now this is evil, because it will make people not believe something that's true, or not, or it could make somebody believe something that's not, and it's just horrible. It's horrible. Everything ain't AI though, but it's like they were preparing us for what we see here ultimately, because when I go back to it, the original picture that Ben Crump, and I don't know who he shared this from, but this was the first one. Then you see this, then, I mean, it's just too much going on. Even these faded pictures that not that one, because I enhanced that one, but these blurry pictures, like, and can't make out no damn body. What are they doing? I guess this is when they was getting told. If this is when they was getting told, then what was the other damn picture? What is this? I'm so confused. Like, somebody need to make it make sense. But one thing I noticed about this picture, you know, this guy that's standing up in the teal shorts or whatever, his foot, the angle of his foot is like he don't want something to touch him. Let me see if I could move this. His foot is kind of like, if a foot could be scared, it would look like that. Okay, like, ooh, don't touch me. What is that down there? Or I don't want you to get me. You know what I'm saying? The way that his feet is. Why is he balancing on the edge of the damn sinking boat anyway? This is supposed to be a sinking boat, right? Why is all those people on a sinking boat? I don't get it. It's so many unanswered questions and so many weird things that just don't quite make sense. So they told us they was towing it here. This is the, like, make it make sense, y'all. And then it looked like, I mean, that this small boat back here, I guess, are those life jackets? Because that, I mean, it looked like it's orange, the same color of what we see, but when I put it in AI, it told me that this was a forearm. it literally said, and I did a short, and that's what it looked like, because it extended. It's a part. I was able to catch it right at the longest extension that happened. And it do look like a forearm with a hand. And that's literally what AI said. And so how ironic is it that this picture came out first and it happened to be near the area of what we ultimately do see. So now it's like, well, don't believe your lying eyes, because look at this. This is a lie. It's just weird. It's just weird. And then this was the guy that I thought could have been Warren's brother. And this is a guy that was breaking it up that clearly looked like he a friend of his. I don't know who this guy is, or I don't know how many brothers Warren got either. Because the guy Morgan has the same last name as Warren's mother, Seymour. Her name is Katie Hudson Seymour. And this Morgan last name is Seymour. I don't know if he's related to him, if he a stepbrother to him. I don't know, but he just happened to have the same name, married name that his mom has. But this is the guy that I originally thought was on the boat bending over in those red shorts. He had on red shorts. But ultimately, it looked like it's a white guy in the red shorts that I thought was him. But so this was another fight that happened on the island, and this was the guy. The reason why that thing is over his face is because his nose was leaking. And we might get to that. But I'm just trying to go through these pictures right quick while I'm thinking about it. And originally, I thought he could have been Javon and Jalen. I thought when I first seen Javon and Jalen, I thought they were twins. And when I first seen this black guy, I said, could he be Javon's twin? That's what I was thinking. And so I put these pictures together to compare them. So I enhanced one picture. Now, when I enhance things, my intention is not to change it or confuse anybody. It's really just to clear up the photo. And you can see that it looks very closely to the actual photo, which is the blurry one above it. And that's Carlos Moore, the judge that was banned from Mississippi. I guess he was banned from ever practicing there, which is odd because, I mean, it didn't even sound like he did a lot. He did nothing. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. And then this is where I was comparing them again, because I'm like, that was before I put it here. I'm like, could that be his brother? And then I'm like, no, that's not him. But this guy was out there too, and he was the one that was with this guy who I'm not sure who this kid is, but he looked to be about 16. And because Trayson said that Carter jumped in on his fight, I thought that could be him. But then it was another picture that's been circulating with the it was a black kid and it was black and a white kid face to face in the water. At least that's what it looked like. Or guys, I don't know how old they were. So it's just like, I don't know which one had to do with his brother. I don't know if they all had to do with them. And what was the real problem? Because I don't believe, for one, I don't really believe Trayson. I really don't. Just because the story that he gave made no sense at all about his girlfriend dropping the top to her cup or something in the water. That just don't make a lick of sense to me. And then we have, this is some of them right here. That's Eric, Trayson right there, and Warren. I don't know who's the guy in the hat. Is that one of them that was there too? But you see, Trayson got on the F Joe Biden and a MAGA hat. He got on his American flag outfit. I don't know. Oh, I see Jax right there. I don't know who this is pointing. Is this one of their brothers? I'm not sure. But yeah. But yeah, I just find it odd. All of these weird pictures can't look. This another one. This Nolan right here. All you see is his ass. Like, I mean, make it make sense. It's like, am I being punked right now? What's really going on? Why is every single picture that we have of Nolan, we can't see him? The one of him on the side of the boat, I tried to enhance that picture. Why did he turn into a damn record? Literally, they turned him into a record. I wish I had the picture to show y'all, but you could barely freaking see him. Like, is this on purpose? It just don't make sense to me, man. Everything about this case is screwed. Exactly. Would a wallet. I have said that you can see the wallet, but this picture is enhanced. So, I mean, it changes it a little bit, but this do look like it could be Nolan. I mean, I ain't never seen the back of him, but I'm just saying, looking at the build. But again, every picture that I showed of Warren, like, he looks different. Even from the interviews, he looked bad. I mean, he definitely looked like Freddy Krueger and Skeletor face, because the dude has lost so much weight, or so it seems. It's too many different images out here. Here's another one. Here's Nolan in the middle of the water with this girl. Like, Nolan is just everywhere, but you don't see his damn face nowhere. It's just, make it make sense, please. Somebody said, I'm out in the ocean. Wait, I'm out here in the ocean weekly and never leave without securing my phone where it won't get wet or ruined. It doesn't take a brain scientist to figure that out. Exactly. And some of those things don't work. I heard, put your phone in the water if you want to. That mug will come out soaking wet. But I mean, if all of this chaos happened, why would Nolan want to stay? And why would the girls even want to stay? I mean, just make it make sense. After all of that, and people you hanging out with, they've gotten into it with a group of people to where they got to haul ass up out of there. Why would you stay? And where are the police? I mean, I'm thinking like the Coast Guards would have been out there on the coast watching everything, right? They got to have a way to pay attention. You know, another thing, they was out there underage drinking. Y'all see the beverages, doing all that. I even heard Warren say he didn't have a tag on his boat. Or not Warren, it was Wyatt. When he called Cito, he told them he didn't have a tag on it. The tag got ripped or something happened with the tag. So you out there with no tags on your boat? I mean, that's like a license plate, right? Like, I mean, it's like anything goes out there. If you have a way to get out there, it's free for all. Do what you like. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing. Everybody know everybody, and we just gonna keep it that way, right? Make it make sense. See how with these, I highlighted, it's a can in Nolan's hand, because I know some people were saying they didn't see nothing with no videos with him or pictures with him. He had cans in his hand too, but he still didn't look. I mean, everybody else was doing the same thing. How can we say, oh, everybody was lit out there, right? Everybody, but he the only one that died? Like, he was drunk, he drowned. Nah, it ain't in the damn story. Are you freaking serious? Everybody was out there drinking and probably drunk. I believe that they was everything that they said that he was. I believe that they put it all on Nolan, the one that's not here to defend himself. That's crazy. How can you live with yourself?
I assumed, Nolan's just, we've been drinking all day and that he's just sleeping somewhere and, that he's okay. But I didn't want to believe that if we didn't know for sure. So, I mean, next day I woke up and my stepdad walked to my room. He said, hey, have they heard anything about Nolan? What's going on? Because I hadn't spoke to him. And he was like, I was like, yeah, no, I don't know. I just gotten up. And he was like, all right, well, we're going to get on the boat and looking for him. And I was like, okay, yeah. So I got my buddy Ricky, I got my buddy Brooks. I got my buddy Jax. My mom came on the boat with my stepdad and I, and we all went out there and looked. When I got out there was dozens of DMR boats, helicopters, planes flying over Horn Island. And this wasn't just Horn Island. There was also Ship Island they were looking at, I'm sure, and Chandelier Island, Petty Boy. I mean, it wasn't just Horn Island specifically, but where I was at Horn, there were boats everywhere, and not just like random boats, but like, you know, marine resource boats and, you know, cops, and, you know, the whole nine. Like, it wasn't like there was just a couple of boats looking for Nolan. There was planes and helicopters and, you know, everybody. So,
and then after this, you know, obviously they didn't find Nolan that day.
Right.
And so what was your reaction like when you heard the news, or how did you hear the news that they found Nolan's body?
Well, the next day, well, it got to be about 1 o'clock on July 5th. And I was like, my mind started to turn. I was like, man, you know, if he's not awake yet, like, where is he? Like, you know, like I got very, very worried. And
so July 5th at 1 o'clock, I'm thinking he talking about AM. Why would your brain even go back to if he still sleep? Like, if he on somebody's couch, which we used to call that laid up. You know what I'm saying? If somebody somewhere laid up, when they say, he probably on somebody's couch. But anyway, why would, after being out there on the island, facing reality, would all of those people out there looking for him, planes, drones, whatever, all that stuff he said, all these boats, the way he explained that, and then your brain still went back to he still sleep? Get out of here.
Well, it got to be about 1 o'clock on July 5th, and I was like, my mind started to turn. I was like, man, you know, if he's not awake yet, like, where is he? Like, you know, like I got very, very worried. And, you know, I was with my buddy Brooks the next day, and we're driving, and my buddies were texting my group chat. They're like, hey, listen, I got a phone call from my buddy Trace, and he was like, hey, man, they just found his body. And I was like, I wanted to have hope, but it was really, really hard to have hope when they haven't found your buddy in the last 2 days. And, but there's still a little bit of hope there, you know, like maybe, you know, he's not gone, and maybe, you know, he's okay. But my reaction was just, I was with my buddy Brooks, and I broke down. I mean, I haven't experienced death a lot, but especially with someone I'm as close with as Nolan. And I mean, I broke down, and I sat there on my buddy Brooks' shoulder, and I cried, and I was upset. I made a couple phone calls to my buddies and checked up on my buddies, because, you know, I care about my buddies too. I mean, like, we're all experienced this. Like, we all realized at the same time. We all heard the news at the same time. Like, you know, he's
how y'all hear it at the same time if y'all wasn't together and you got a phone call?
Gone. And so it was really, really hard on me. I mean, I've never experienced something like this, and it was traumatic. I mean, I could tell you where and when I was there, when I got that phone call, you know, where I was. And I just remember, like, it was insane. Like, I can't even put into words how upset I was, you know?
It sounded like he trying to convince us that he was very upset. You know how people be like, oh, when that happened, like 9/11, I can remember where I was at and what I was doing when that happened. That's what he just said, pretty much. Like, oh, I can remember because it was so tragic that, you know, he could remember exactly what he was doing. Hell, it was just last week. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, it had just happened. And somebody, I don't know. This just don't. Am I being punked right now? Are we being punked? Seriously. It's a lot wrong with the story. We not getting no information. We just going round and round in circles. Don't know nothing. Still. And all these minions is busy trying to cover everything up. Thank you to everybody hitting the thumbs up. We have 338 people. We have 142. So if y'all could please keep hitting that thumbs up, I greatly appreciate it. Look at what they've been saying about them. Yeah, it's look what they've been saying about who. What are you talking about? This is about a deceased person and getting answers to where is he at? What happened? What, I mean, how do you leave somebody trashed out there? Oh, he was drinking, we was all drunk. That, you know, for them to be thinking he laid up on somebody's couch or whatever, or laid up with somebody, you know what I'm saying? Y'all basically saying that he couldn't even hold himself up. He was that wasted that he would be asleep. Why would he be more messed up than y'all? Why would you leave him? It should be a law against it so they can quit using this as a damn excuse. If you leave your drunk, wasted ass friend, then you should go to jail. Period. Leave him on some water, no shoes, no phone, no shirt, no way of getting in touch with anybody to get help. You just leave him? No, something happened at the very freaking moment that everything moved. So they want us to believe that all these different occurrences happen at 4. All of these different instances happen at the same damn time, and did none of it include Nolan. Get out of here.
And how upset my friends were. So
Nolan was my friend, and that all these like stories going around, like even from like our point of view, because we're getting it different than what the public is seeing. Because
and this is the girl I was talking about. This, I believe that she do really know the family. And you see the chocolate and vanilla out here, right? This guy in the backwards white hat, and it's a female standing right next to him. For all I know, that could be Tracy and his girlfriend. That could be Warren into it with the black kids that was on the other boat. They got into it, right? That's why I'm trying to figure out, you know, is this his brother? Is this his brother into it? Or is this his brother? Which one is his brother? He got Warren's face. I just thought about it. But that, which guy is his brother? Okay. But these are the 2 instances. Well, actually a third one, because a video just came out where somebody rumbling in the water. And we heard that it was supposed to be about 3 of them, right? But not one of them do I see Tracy. I mean, besides me thinking that it's a very strong possibility that it could be him in his white hat to the back. And that's because didn't he have a hat to the back on the interview? He that could be him, because everybody else that had a hat on out there, they wasn't to the back. But this one is a backwards white hat, I do believe. So who are these mystery people? Like the people that actually was into it with them, they need to speak up. Why they not saying nothing? Why?
In the scene, but they definitely did something to him, and they're all trying to change the story. Friend, and that all these.
I mean, I've never experienced something like this, and it was traumatic. I mean, I could tell you where and when I was there, when I got that phone call, you know, where I was, and I just remember like it was insane. Like I can't even put into words how upset I was, you know, and how upset my friends were. So
Nolan was my friend, and that all these like stories going around, like even from like our point of view, because we're getting it different than what the public is seeing, because we're behind the scenes. But they definitely did something to him, and they're all trying to change the story. Everybody that was near that boat is trying to defend all their other friends, and every time you talk to a different person, the story is changing.
Is there anything that you can tell us in detail, like that you feel safe saying? I don't want you to say anything that you can't say or don't feel safe saying.
Like, what do you want to know?
So what exactly happened from you guys' side?
From our side, there was an altercation with a different boat, which had other kids on it, black kids. And there was an altercation. There was a fight. Something happened. And they went back to the respective boats or whatever. And when his best friend was on the other boat, so when he went to go like check up on Nolan and everything after the fight, Nolan's boat was gone. But they had stayed for a couple more hours. And so when they got back to land, they had his phone. So Nolan didn't even have his phone. The phone was at one of the boys' houses, and they didn't want to give it to his parents, and they had to send somebody to go get the phone from his house. That's why, like, when we checked his location, everybody was like thinking that it wasn't serious, because we saw his location and said he was in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, like at his.
See, I believe that she's a friend. The female that you can hear her talking with is a content creator. I don't know her name. I haven't even seen her channel. This video has just been floating around. But she actually has been in communication with her, helping her and different things like that. And she's like, because I seen her on somebody's show, and I meant to go back and try to see, because I didn't watch it. But maybe when I come back, I'll have that information. But I believe that she is legit, and the stuff that she's talking about, this was before they started doing interviews, I do believe. And some of these things, what she's saying and what the other female said is is similar to what they're saying. Where it could be a link, it could be connected.
Nolan's boat was gone, but they had stayed for a couple more hours. And
that's the part right there, that when he got back, because I think I heard him say that too. I believe I heard Javon, and I need to play what he said, at least what I have that he said. I do believe that I heard Javon say that the boat was gone when he got back. But my thing is, where was Nolan at when everybody was going to break up a fight? Javon, I mean, Tristan was, and Carter allegedly was into it with somebody else. And then we got Warren who left, and also Javon. But where was Nolan at? What, Nolan just stood there and didn't break up nothing? That don't make sense. He's the peacemaker. He would have been the first to, he would have been trying to get him not to do it in the first place. So where was he? Like, where was he when everybody was doing this stuff? That's what I'm saying. This is where it happened at. And it involved Nolan because he's the only one that's not here. But they want us to believe it was everybody else.
Or whatever. And when his best friend was on the other boat, so when he went to go like check up on Nolan and everything after the fight, Nolan's boat was gone, but they had stayed for a couple more hours. And so
if Javon, if she talking to him, she said his best friend, that would be Javon. She's saying that they stayed a couple more hours after that. I'm not sure, because I didn't hear Javon say when he left. I'm really not sure. But if that's true, then he would have definitely seen Nolan on the island. Another thing that's interesting is that when they lawyers spoke, and I think they were on Nancy Grace, the defamation lawyer Cox, let's just say Cox, because they pushing that. But they said that 2 witnesses said that they seen them after 6. Like, okay, so out of 1,000 people, it was 2 people that seen him and definitely could say that was Nolan, and they seen him after 6. So Nancy asked them, and they was kind of like, well, 2 people seen him or multiple people seen him after 6 or something. And it was like, she was like, did these people know them? Were these people first, how many was it? It ended up being 2, but they tried to say multiple, and then it narrows down to it was 2 freaking people. So out of the 2 people, they knew them and knew each other. Man, throw this up out of here. You can't believe them. They have reasons to damn lie. So to me, that just confirmed a lie to me to say that. Oh, these 2 people out of 1,000 people on the island, only 2 people that can confirm it. Oh, so we just supposed to take y'all word? All of this freaking modern technology, y'all want us to take your word? No, we ain't doing it.
When they got back to land, they had his phone. So Nolan didn't even have his phone. The phone was at one of the boys' houses, and they didn't want to give it to his parents, and they had to send somebody to go get the phone from his house. That's why, like, when we checked his location, everybody was like thinking that it wasn't serious, because we saw his location and said he was in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, like at his house. But they wouldn't give his phone back to his parents, and they were seen eating out the next day. Wow. And when somebody asked them, like, hey, why aren't you out looking for your friend? They said, y'all already think we did it.
Now, we know that Warren brought up that they brought up that they have been confronted while they was out or something or whatever. So that could have been that incident. I don't know. But allegedly, that was the next day. So allegedly they went looking for him the next day. So why didn't they say that? But anyway, I don't know.
Did what?
Exactly. And then also that night, They were seen at multiple parties when they got back from the island around like 7 o'clock. So they still continued to go out that night, knowing that Nolan wasn't with them and that nobody had seen him.
Well, we know that's true. We just heard him say they went to a party.
You had Nolan's cell phone and messages were deleted. How could you tell messages were deleted? Well, his parents got the phone back, and that's something that's important, Michael, because they tracked this phone on Life 360.
So Life 360, but when I received the phone call from Warren, I immediately called my friend Tashima and I said, hey, have you guys seen Nolan? Because her two sons, Jalen and Javon, like they grew up together. They played City League sports together. When they got into school, they played sports together. And so she was like, hey, like, okay, the boys were pulling up a location from Snapchat. So the Snapchat location looks completely different than the Life 360 location. So when I pulled up Life 360, it was different. It was showing everywhere the phone had been. Like I was like, well, it's showing that he's back on land. Like he's like, but no, he didn't come back with us.
Well, how were you able to get the phone?
So we tracked it and my friend Tashima went and picked it up.
It wasn't like they said, we got his phone.
And that's the part, you know, why she's talking about this. She breezed through that. I wasn't paying attention, but let me go back.
I got the phone back, and that's something that's important, Michael, because they tracked this phone on Life 360.
So Life 360, but when I received the phone call from Warren,
I've even noticed, like, when they're talking, her jump in spot is when he say Life 360. And she made it obvious right there.
I immediately called my friend Tashima and I said, hey, have you guys seen Nolan? Because her two sons, Jalen and Javon, like they grew up together. They played City League sports together. When they got into school, they played sports together. And so she was like, hey, like, okay, the boys were pulling up a location from Snapchat. So the Snapchat location looks completely different than the Life 360 location. So when I pulled up Life 360, it was different. It was showing everywhere the phone had been.
Now that at that part right there, you would think like if Javon knew that when he got back, Nolan and was gone, and by the time he went and grabbed his phone, where did he think Nolan was at? If he didn't see him on the island. And yeah, I wonder, I mean, did he meet them at the docks? Because I think I heard Brandon say that. But anyway, I'm really not sure where and when Javon picked up his phone. Because he was without his phone until he caught up with them. So you would think that would have came up in this part of it. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I don't know. That's the missing piece for me. Like, make it make sense.
I was like, well, it's showing that he's back on land. Like he's like, but no, he didn't come back with us.
Well, how were you able to get the phone?
So we tracked it and my friend Tashima went and picked it up.
It wasn't like they said, we got his phone. They tracked.
Yeah, 4 930 0803.
Negative. We're en route to the judge's house now. Negative. We're en route to the judge's house now. You said y'all are en route to the judge's house or from the judge's house? En route to the judge's house.
Now, a lot of people think that's weird that they en route to the judge's house, and it's around 11 something, the same time that Christine is trying to locate her son. So this would have been like right after Warren called her. He called her at 11:07. He called the Coast Guards after that, according to the paperwork, the screenshots or whatever. And so this would have been right after that. They on their way to the judge's house. That is odd because if they were going, if a report needed to be made, people make reports. Like she had to go, they had her running all over hell to report her son missing. They was telling her to contact this person, that Ocean Springs, Jackson, whatever, JS, whatever, what is it called? Jacksonville Police Department or whatever they call it, JSO. Contact them. Contact the Coast Guards, but they going to them to take their report. Eventually they did end up meeting her at a Walmart or something like that, but they didn't come to her house to take a report because people was kind of into it in my comments, and one person was like, well, I mean, they went, what's so weird about that? They wanted to make a report, and one person was like, oh, my bad, I forgot I'm not privileged. from where I'm from, you got to go make the report yourself. They don't come to you just to make a police report. But in this case, that's what happened. And it says 11:26 through 11:56. So it was somewhere between those times. I'm not sure exactly.
Destin for I keyed up on you. Appreciate it. 10-4. 5123 in the area. Mississippi 28, John Mary 809. Definitely. 32, finish up with whatever you got and get it down here. Currently dealing with a potential missing person. You have all the information from the 1050. 10-4? 10-24, 10-8, and J2. 10-4. Reference to a missing persons report from the east side. Can you give us on the Pine Drive? Pine Drive, they're either in and out Harbor Park. Those people from the Signal 80 from earlier tonight are now harassing other people at this area.
Okay, so that first part was, y'all obviously heard what they were saying, but we're going to listen in on this one. This is the dispatch audio from the 4th, 5th, and the 6th, so you're going to hear a lot of different stuff here. I'm trying to find something, but yeah, let's just listen. This one is going to be from July 4th.
It's 36, they're actually going to be at in Persian Avenue. And PD, what exactly is going on with this call? The people from the Signal 80 from earlier tonight are harassing these people on the boat. They believe that they have connection to this missing juvenile.
Launched at El Camino Real boat ramp on the west side. We have units headed over there to check it.
Simple, thank you.
You're welcome.
And we know El Camino Real is where they docked at, where they left and all that stuff.
El Camino Road, reference to a missing persons report from the east side. 10-4. Jackson 129, copy the previous Bridgewater Park Apartments, 14 Big Ridge Road, 14 Big Ridge Road. This is there in front of apartment building 7. RP said they were trying to get keys to a vehicle, but a male is refusing to give them to her and her daughter. This That's good to hear them yelling in the background. RP did say that it's almost physical, but not physical yet. 10-4, you said apartment building 7? 10-4. Hit me in building. 10-4, 7. Station 2 to 30, are you 43? 43, I'm getting tired. 10-4. 129, Jack. Show me a 23 at Bridgewater Park. 10-4. I got can you make the RP at the McDonald's in front of the Ocean Springs Walmart? She's going to be there white Volkswagen Atlas. Needs to report her 8-year-old son, Nolan Wells, missing at 3 Walmart Island. 10-4. I'm out here at Marshall Park. 10-4. 152 to 33. Do you need me to come out there? Negative. 10-4. 10-4. Yeah, I'm clearing out Marshall Park. There's multiple people sleeping out here. Can you give us on the Pine Drive? Pine Drive. They're either in and out Harbor Park. Those people from the Signal 80 from earlier tonight are now harassing other people at this area. 2-4. It's 36. They're actually going to be at in Persian Avenue. 2-4. Yeah, PD, what exactly is going on with this call? The people from the Signal 80 from earlier tonight are harassing these people on the boat. They believe that they have connection to this missing juvenile. 80 from earlier tonight are now harassing other people at this area. 2-4. It's 36. They're actually going to be at in Persian Avenue. 2-4, 2-3, General Persian. Yeah, PD, what exactly is going on with this call?
The people from the Signal 80 from earlier tonight are harassing these people on the boat. They believe that they have connection to this missing juvenile.
Yeah.
It's going to be related to the Signal 80 report 32 worked on earlier tonight.
Okay, so when it first started, let me see something. Hold on. So when it first started, I'm trying to see, the time was 11:45 p.m. Hold on. So July 4th, 2026 at 11:45 p.m. and reference to a missing report from the east side. Deputies respond to missing person report heard on Jackson, Mississippi Law Enforcement Dispatch. So we're listening to dispatch calls. Some people just listen to dispatch radio all the time. I mean, some people just tune in to the police to see what they up to and all of that. So this is where that is coming from. And again, at 11:45. And then when they talked about the people from the Signal 80, which is a missing person from the earlier tonight, are now harassing other people at that area. That was 7/5 at 2:54 a.m. So that would have been the next morning. Well, no, it's like right after midnight. So it's all kind of lining up. He calls her at 11:07. He called the Coast Guards 11, talked to them to like 11:20 something. This dispatch call is like when it first started 11:45. Then we get into 2:54 because it's after midnight. Okay. Y'all, please smack that thumbs up. Let me see what y'all saying, as a matter of fact, while I'm at a break. Shout out to everybody in the building. Thank you to everybody hitting the thumbs up. But please smack that thumbs up if you haven't got a chance to. We want to get to 300 at least thumbs up, y'all. So if you haven't, please do. You're quoting a recording that's flake and things added to it. What are you talking about? You could believe what you want to believe, and I'm going to believe what I believe. But don't ever try to change my mind about what I believe. And I ain't going to try to change yours. I really don't care. But just behave in my chat. Nolan's parents sure thought a lot of all these rich white people so much. They let him go drinking on the coast, on the ocean with drunks. Man, I mean, to me, they too grown. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not 21. The legal age is 21 for a reason. And so I don't know. They was grown. They were allowed to do a lot of grown-up things that they shouldn't have been doing, in my opinion. But I still believe that, I mean, just like Nolan said his mother was there. I mean, not Nolan. Warren ended up saying that his mom was there. I believe it was other parents there also. And thank you for hitting those good hearts in the chat. So Warren didn't report or call Nolan's mom until 11 p.m. that night, over 7 hours after. Yep, they took Nolan. Yep, exactly. It was, yes, from, well, Warren want to say that he ain't seen Nolan since 3 p.m. yet he heard them yelling for him at 4:30. Like, make it make sense. How are we catching these lies and they still ain't brought nobody in? Because you know they got to see it too.
10-4. John at X-ray 250. John at X-ray 250. It should come back to the missing juvenile. Just for the missing person.
10-4, return to Amor 13.
32. Has the missing person been recovered? Negative. Copy. PD. Call County Dispatch. And we have further information that DMR and the Coast Guard are actively searching. The parents came and picked up the vehicle of the house that he spent the night at. And the Prius is right there. He just arrived as well.
Okay, so they finally got the car from them, and I don't know what time that was. Hold on. What exactly is going on with this car? So that was 2:54 at that time. But yeah, so now they got the car. So it's kind of like they doing a play-by-play a little bit on what happened that night or how they moved. And so when Warren first came out and spoke, he kind of downplayed the action that happened that night or whatever. He made it sound like it wasn't that bad, but then when his buddies got to talking, they made it sound 100% aggressive. You know what I'm saying? And I wonder why did he downplay it like that? Because he can downplay it all he want, but police was being called. And then we know that they said that Wyatt allegedly called the police and said that people was on their way to his parents' house and they didn't know nothing that was going on. We'll hear something similar in this dispatch call.
There's no tape there in the cab. Also, he's been out here since, he says about 02:30 is when he initially called him.
Now, see, at the same time, they were looking for a missing juvenile, so I think they kind of got it mixed up. Like with these dispatch calls, it could be multiple calls, but shout out to Plunder. She's the one that put this out. She is the one that went through the dispatch calls and found it. It's not like you can just go to this and go straight to a person, a case. They're talking about multiple things on dispatch audio. So she had to go in there and pick out what was Nolan, what was concerning Nolan. And so that's why the little juvenile thing got in there, because she wasn't sure if this had something to do with Nolan or not. So she added some of the stuff, and still not 100% sure. But that's just what's being said.
I know we got to call a little later, but just notate that as well. They provided you with new information that could assist the county and DMR in this. 151 Jackson.
Oscar, one side.
Sure myself and 50 on the water.
Crime audio.
149. Go ahead.
Hey, just make sure y'all update with dispatch on the boat and who's in the boat with you there. And out to the west end of the horn.
10-4.
49 Jack.
10.
23 on the western tip of Horn Island.
10-4.
Any of y'all boat units, I just sent y'all a picture that was apparently sent to the mother. He was seen around that location by somebody that knows him about 4:30.
See, so they got the picture. Let me see what time is that.
The boat that he was supposedly on when he arrived, they left about 3. So
now y'all heard them say they left at 3. They did not leave at 3. But that's obviously what they told them, because he wouldn't have said it if that ain't what he was told. So they changed the story. First, it was said that they left at 3. Then it ended up changing. Oh, I seen him last at 3 is what Warren said. But they didn't leave to 4:30. Now we seen how those boats were set up. They were in a row. Like they had rows going straight down and rows to the back. And they were like the third row of boats. So they would have seen wherever Nolan was at. And Trace and them would have been in the first row. But I think I remember him saying they was on opposite ends though, because they got there before they did or whatever. And also Trayston admitted to not even answering Nolan's phone calls when he was calling him when they was about to pull up. He was like, yeah, Nolan is my friend, and he called me 2 times when we was on the island. before they got there. I didn't answer the call, but he called me though. well, you letting us know y'all ain't that cool if you didn't pick up the man's call. But anyway, let him keep talking.
Apparently sent to the mother. He was seen around that location by somebody that knows him about 4:30. The boat that he was supposedly on when he arrived, they left about 3. So maybe want to check.
He was seen by somebody.
He was seen around that location by somebody that knows him about 4:30.
Yeah, Warren and every damn body else that was still there. Like, you cannot unsee him, right? If you were still there at 3:00, you seen him at 4:30. If you heard them yelling for him and you heard the whole conversation, then you seen him too. See, that's a lie. That's what happened. That they wanted the time to be 3, but somehow it changed. See, I believe that their information changed with what's being put out, but you can't change what you told them on that night because he said 3. He said they left at 3, and somebody seen them at 4:30. That was before the GPS came out and all that. Isn't that convenience?
The boat that he was supposedly on when he arrived, they left about 3. So maybe want to check that photo.
Who is he trying to call?
Any of y'all boat units. I just sent y'all a picture that was apparently sent to the mother. He was seen around that location by somebody that knows him about 4:30. The boat that he was supposedly on when he arrived, they left about 3. So maybe want to check that photo.
Funny.
You will just add to that missing person call. Someone that knows him saw him around 4 to 4:30 near Dog Key Pass on Horn Island.
Now, I meant to go look and see exactly where was Dog Key Pass, but before I listened at this, I hadn't heard that somebody had allegedly seen him on Dog Key Pass. Hold on. So when they were talking about the keys and stuff, it says the dispute over the keys, Nolan's mom's friend went to go grab the keys. So Javon's and Jalen's mom, and it's given a time of 11:50 domestic dispute, only 40 minutes after Nolan's mom 107 call or something like the 1107 call. Yeah, so they calling the police and all that domestic dispute. Like, these people wasn't worrying about them finding Nolan, but they was calling the police on them. Very, very interesting.
And they actually spoke to him as well. Pascagoula PD is also aware of a missing person.
So who was the person that talked to him at 4:30? Who is the person? And even still, they still would have been there, right? Because they didn't lead to 4:31, allegedly. But the lawyer on Nancy Grace said that, literally said that they called Cito at 4:30. How they call Cito after they supposed to be gone? The Cito call was supposed to be at 4, or some people say 3:40, 3:48 or something, but more like 4. But that's the thing though, right? Because Anna C. Moore, the woman that posted that fight video or after the dispute or whatever, it was 4:01, right? So everything can't happen at 4. Too many things happened at 4. Okay. They said that I remember Trayson saying that Nolan walked past him and he said something slick to him about the girl, and he was going back towards Wyatt's boat, and he was going back towards his uncle's boat, right?
Caroline.
So with that being said, how is Nolan now he was in the water where he was every damn where. Nolan was just everywhere, okay? Because right after that, then you got what's his name? Warren saying he was cradling a girl last time he seen him, but that was supposed to be at 3 o'clock. But Warren was present right after that to go grab his brother and break that up. Where exactly was that? Was that in the middle of the water, like when he was on the boat and Nolan was on the side of the boat and Warren was actually standing in his boat talking to Bart on the other boat? I'm assuming that was Bart because that was his boat. That's the boat that he was talking to. And that person on that boat was mad because I heard him say, he was telling him, no, you come here. You come here. And he was like, no, my glasses are fucking broke. So he was mad about something. You know, if I heard him right, that's what it sounded like he said, although he had glasses on his face. So he was upset about something. Who was he upset with about his glasses being broke?
Is there a OIC out here on the island that we need to speak with? 17 there, 1. 17. Got the park rangers out on the island. CMR's out here and we're out here. I've already let her know you're going to be flying. So, after that, we're approaching the Easter tip at this point. Is there a channel that we can go to that we don't interfere with primary traffic? I'm not sure. Patrol 3, maybe? Keep in mind, there are boats tied up all up and around this area where he was missing when you come through. Copy that. 17 to L1. If you find anything of interest, just let us know so we can direct anything on the ground.
True crime audio.
Yeah, well. Gotcha, site. We'll circle around the tip, come back that way. Area they said he was last seen. Careful. Usually west side, like Lake North and areas like that. Just go check boat launches, see if maybe he was taken back and dropped off in that area. Kind of ride through Lake North and other areas looking for him. Not sure where they launched for him, but if he got a ride back and got dropped off, just chasing that little path and stuff around there, maybe check if you don't mind.
Jackson 17.
Okay.
Launched at El Camino Real boat ramp on the west side. We have units headed over there to check it.
10-4, thank you.
You're welcome. They were advised of the ADM that'll have them check the boat ramp as well.
10-4, thank you.
121.
121.
Can you go look around the point area, maybe on the rocks, near the grass, anything that you can find over there, and look for signal 80 subject from the Horn Island. They are not finding anything on the island. They want to check the point areas, all the boat dock areas.
Okay.
For a city of light-skinned black male, last seen wearing black shorts.
1701, you seen anything worth us checking?
Would y'all describe Nolan as light skinned?
Hey, that's what I was just fixing to say. We're going to actually move on down the island because everything is clear from where we've been.
Are y'all looking for a light-skinned black male, last seen wearing black swimming shorts?
See how important the color is? They were staring at him all day and didn't know what color he had.
Through with the island, is there anything else you want us to look at? No, not that I can think of, unless you want to fly the next island over, sand or whatever, just in case. So I think that's good.
Jackson 17. Of our units checked the boat ramps in our area, and Haskell checked theirs. Negative contact with that male at any of the boat ramps or piers.
Check the damn cameras on the boat ramps and piers. How about that? I wonder if they bothered to check that. You know what I'm saying? Bridges and all that by the other islands and all that. All the cameras that we seen. Shout out to Bree. She showed us all the cameras that could have been checked. The residents, the bridges, the light poles, the flop cameras, the businesses. None of that was checked. I'm allegedly.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I also contacted Biloxi as well. They should be calling back shortly. They're checking their vote rates as well.
Everyone is a
Everyone.
We're leaving the island. It was negative contact on anything from the air. We're headed back to travel.
10-4.
All right, y'all, please smack the thumbs up if you haven't got a chance to. We only got a few thumbs up. We should have about 1,000 right now. So if you haven't hit the thumbs up, please double tap the screen to get to the like button. Or hit the 2 dots upper right to get to the like button. Wait a minute. I'll give y'all a few minutes to do that. She did show there are security cameras everywhere on the island. Yeah, she did. She absolutely did. Hold on. What is somebody saying? Horn Island. Be careful what you type because they definitely gonna hold your comments. Who been a bully in the chat? Somebody said, can I send you some information? Yeah, you can send it to me I'm on TikTok. You can send it through Messenger there, or you can send it on Instagram. MTGV Crime Podcast everywhere. Just let me know who you are. Let me know you was in my chat. Okay, so I see your name. Richard. Mississippi is a fraud. Mississippi is a fraud. Okay, we got you. I'm just kind of doing a scan. What, why only? Okay, let me block some of you idiots now that I'm looking out here. Hold on. Warren can't get his lies straight. Exactly. Yeah, you can't be doing all that. You gotta be careful what you say. I'm in Ocean Springs. Okay. Jenny, you must be from Mississippi. Somebody said. I have asked you to stop several times. What's going on? They said it wasn't no cameras. They lied like a mother sucker, boy. Shout out to Bree. Shout out to Bree Lee. Host can send you some information. I don't know if you still here, Richard, but if you on either one of those platforms, you can send it to me. I'm looking. There's gonna be a video that comes out. The whole area has cameras. A lot of people there, and you don't think someone videoed the whole thing? I would think so. She did show there are cameras everywhere. Okay, I read that. I'm seeing the same comments. For sure, cover up the entire town. Shout out to Bronze in the building. And thank you to everybody hitting the thumbs up again. Shout out to all of my new subscribers and all of my new members. I meant to say that earlier. We have like 6,000 new subscribers. So shout out to y'all. Y'all been tuned into the shorts a lot. I'm going to go live a little bit more. I'm trying. This is a cover up, I'm sure. These grandparents are, Triple K. Yep. You tweaking, somebody said. You from Chicago? It's a lot of tweakers there. They love to say that. There's gonna be a video, okay. All right, let me continue. But y'all please smack the thumbs up if y'all haven't. So maybe y'all don't know how. Double tap the screen or hit the 3 dots upper right to get to the like button. Let me get up out of here. Hurry up. Let me hurry up.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Everyone's tonight back to the house.
Simple. The Coast Guard is asking which frequency you're on, because they would like to communicate with you.
We're just monitoring, staying on 50 QLs. It would be 118.57.
118457, correct?
118.57.
10-4.
Just for the comfort level, if you will notify Coast Guard, advise them we're going back to the mainland.
10-4.
Anything we need to go check again, or? Everything. Just covering all of our bases. We didn't see anything that needs to be checked. 10-4.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll be en route to Crusades, Lake Forest.
10-4. Do you want us to open up the call from yesterday or open a new call for today?
Yes, please.
So a new case number for today?
We're just going to go with the same one.
10-4, thank you.
73, someone's flopping over patrol on route to Lake Forest.
4. Jackson 127, copy of 1660.
Come in.
Copy advice, someone's knocking on her child's bedroom window. Unknown description.
7. 313 Jackson, I'll have that play. What was that address again?
Do you have a single 83 when you're available on Highway 613?
And that whole knocking on the window thing, that was coming from Nolan's mom's house or from his house. And it is suspected that it was his sister's window that was being knocked on. So they have been harassed and all kind of stuff, threatened and stuff sent to their house, but ain't nobody been sought out and arrested. That's another thing. The people that's been arrested, why we don't have no body cam videos, no arrest videos, nothing on the news, really? I mean, like, why can't we see the people physically? Like, I just want to see them with handcuffs on. I want to see them in a police car or something. You know what I'm saying? Let me know these people really exist. Like, because what the hell? It's too many weird things happening to me. Let's keep it going. People are weird.
Jeff.
Hello.
Oh, 52 Jackson, what you got?
Give me a single 83, again, a single 83.
Thunder. True crime audio.
Yeah. I'll be advised he has sent his 77 to his in-laws. He and his wife are home, and they've been getting harassing texts and calls in regards to the Nolan Wells case.
Now you see somebody was getting harassed and called. That was the last of it right there. So somebody, let me see what time that happened. If I can find it. Wait, what? Hold on, y'all. Okay, I was just trying to see if I could see a time with that, but I don't. Okay, so that's that on that. What did y'all think about all of that? Did anything stand out to you? I know I wasn't able to necessarily match the times with the dates and all that, but if you listen at what they saying, you could figure out what's going on. So, oh my God. Okay, let me go down. Nolan's mom isn't getting threatening messages. How do you know? I mean, how do you know? What are we talking about here? But anyway, it is late, y'all. Please stay tuned in to the shorts. I definitely been dropping a lot of shorts on a daily, or I mean, been dropping them very consistently, at least one a day. But sometimes I do multiple shorts a day. But I'm gonna go live again this week, and I'm gonna set them up also so you can come in and check them out. And also, if you watching one of my shorts, if it's a play button on every short, and it'll take you to a video or live stream. I am a channel that do all content, so if you want to check out the longer content, please tap in. And shout out to everybody in the building tuning in, especially to the people that hit the thumbs up. And please hype this video out also after it's over, and leave it in the comments and let me know what you think. If I miss your comment or whatever, other way you could send a Cash App, super chat or something. I'll see those quicker than anything, but only if I'm looking, which I am looking right now. But shout out to everybody in the building. We still got 199 people in here, but we gonna end it for the day, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We'll be back this week, and so set all notifications so you know every time I go live. And I'll see y'all in the next stream. I definitely got to get up out of here. I usually don't go live this late. My normal time is like 2:30 in the afternoon is when I really like to go. But just tap in when y'all see the video stream come up, or get them. Also, yeah, make sure your notifications is on. So set it to all so you'll know next time I drop a video, live stream, or a short. And I'll see y'all in the next one, y'all. I got to get up out of here. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Make this go viral. Check both, exactly. That's what's up, Terry. Are you still here? Yeah, send it to me. IG or TikTok. I believe it, Jonathan. They got cameras. Join Sleuth Nation membership and become a sleuth for special members emojis, special badges by your name, and sneak peek videos. Thank you for sharing me. Thank you for sharing me. Thank you for sharing me. For sharing me. For sharing me. For sharing me. Thank you for so much. Please subscribe and press that notification bell and thumbs up.
Lock his ass up. Lock his ass up. You're going to jail. You're going to jail. You big dummy.
Lock they ass up. Anybody that need to go. But anyway, y'all, we up out of here. Peace and love, y'all. We out.